Welcome to Navigating the Buyer's Journey, a credit union success story, presented by ESL Federal Credit Union, sponsored by Mastodon Technologies. My name is Lakshmi Meyyappan, Director of Professional Services at Mastodon Technologies. I have with me Stacia Geib, Manager of Business Methods at ESL, and Matt Boldrin, Manager of Development from ESL. Stacia, before sharing why ESL decided to invest in the Appian platform, would you introduce our audience to ESL Federal Credit Union first?
Thank you, Lakshmi. We appreciate being at Appian World with you and sharing more about ESL and how our business transformation led to our investment in Appian. Of course, it would not be a conference if you did not learn about who we are by the numbers. So ESL is a financial institution, and specifically, we are a top 1% credit union in the nation with over $8.2 billion in assets, 370,000 members, almost 12,000 businesses, and 870 employees. But ESL is not just about the numbers. We're located in Rochester, New York, and we were started by George Eastman 100 years ago so that Kodak employees would have access to loans so that they could purchase a home and settle in their community. This is a foundational bit of our history that helps many understand our core values and purpose. At ESL, we really do envision being more together. And when we say together, we mean with our employees, our customers, and our community. So all of this leads to our company's purpose. It is to help our community thrive and prosper. As a credit union, we are a non-for-profit company motivated for our stakeholders to be successful in their lives and in their businesses. This motivation is demonstrated in our results. Since 1996, we've paid out $185 million to our owners. And in the unprecedented year of 2020, we provided over $19 million in community grants, waived $1.8 million in late fees, and gave $135 million in PPP loans. And lastly, our employees live our purpose and feel the company's commitment. Since 2010, their feedback to the Great Places to Work survey has earned us this prestigious award 10 times.
I love to hear that. As your intelligent automation partner, I know that Mastodon has seen and felt your purpose and core values as we work side by side with you every day. So how did your purpose lead to your current business transformation?
Well, that is a great question. And it was our purpose and our mission, which were integral to why ESL is making a significant investment to transform our processes and our modern architecture. To help our community thrive and prosper, we identified that we needed to start first at the bottom of this slide with the right business design. This business transformation needs to first support our superior employee experience and then enable delivery of our superior customer experience. But what do we mean by transforming our business design? Well, we mean transforming our foundational systems, data, and process architectures together. To demonstrate our transformation, this slide shows at a very high level how employees and even our customers access information to accomplish their tasks. Many of you, I'm sure, may relate to the current state on the left. We grew into our architecture very quickly once we became an independent credit union from Kodak in 1996. At that point in time, we were a typical growth company, adding multiple new products and lines of businesses to meet our customers' needs. And this really resulted in unintended complexity as we grew. So the picture on the left is really the result. Our retail banking employees use over 15 different systems to service our customers. Not only is this complex to train, it is complex to use, and it makes it complex to enable customer self-service. So how does this complexity impact our employees and our customers? An example will bring this to life. Today, when a customer asks an employee for the status of a loan, a service request, or a payment plan, I like to say our relationship bankers telephone bankers or tellers really become detectives. They need to read lengthy notes, log into another system, or call around to see who is helping the customer. Now, they make this all look easy to our customers, which is really reflected in our NPS scores, which are over 85%. But we know it's hard work. So as we transform our processes and technical architectures to look more like the picture on the right, we will bring the information employees need to service our customers right to them in one ESL experience. So when they're asked a simple question by a customer, they can give a simple answer. In addition, with the right business design, we will enable a better self-service experience for our customers. So this vision is why we started our journey looking for a BPM workflow platform and integration partner.
Those are the best reasons to take on a big effort like digital transformation. That purpose is what's going to get you through the growing pains. And most of the time, those growing pains start during the buying journey. So Matt, can you tell us a bit about ESL's buying journey and what it looked like when you were looking for a digital transformation platform and partner?
Sure. We started our journey with a cross-functional business and technical team who determined our preferred requirements from both lenses. We wanted a platform as a service model with flexible and reusable process flows that was easy to use and integrate with other systems so that this platform could become the glue to achieve our goal of digitization. We looked to many of the normal sources of information related to BPM vendors, and this added to our confusion. In this space, there seemed to be many vendors, all trying to service everyone's needs. For assistance, we engaged an external consultant to help us understand the landscape of these platforms. We started with a longer list of vendors, and to move quickly through this, we did some speed dating to narrow it down. The speed dates allowed the vendor to put their best foot forward based on specific use cases at ESL. The use case was generic enough to allow the vendor to showcase their platform's features. Post-speed date, we met as a project team and picked our short list of vendors who really had a best-in-class BPM workflow focus. We moved into the RFP phase with a smaller group. This included longer demos where we asked the vendors to dive deeper on the original use case, adding in some ESL-specific requirements related to the ESL system landscape and digitization requirements. After these longer demonstrations, along with help from consultants, we were left with 2 vendors. At this point, we started looking at depth in legal, financial, and licensing costs associated with our final selection. We ran the gauntlet of customer reference calls and use case demonstrations and finally made our decision. Appian, along with Mastodon, had really shined from the speed dating stage.
Thanks, Matt. Something I loved about going through the process with your team was on top of how well Appian fit from a technical perspective, Mastodon and ESL really fit from a cultural and communications perspective too. And that is more important than a lot of people realize. So we know that the end result of this journey was ESL choosing the Appian platform. Can you share a bit more about why you chose Appian and Mastodon?
Our final decision came down to our evaluation criteria. First, I'll share what criteria was important to us, and then how Appian and Mastodon rose to the top. Since we wanted a flexible platform that could meet our long-term needs, this drove our expectations around ease of use for multiple users. Our initial focus on the developers and users who are working in Appian. This included how development would be performed in the tools, version control, ease of developing workflow, and the ability to roll back. The development created in the platform also needed to have the right capabilities that would result in really easy to use user interfaces for our employees and customers. Reusability of workflow components. How easy is it to identify sub-workflows that you want to reuse and pull them into another workflow for use? Process measures and reports. What out-of-the-box functionality was there to measure process effectiveness so that we can have the data for process improvement in the future? Case management functionality. Obviously, managing a case is a large part of a BPM solution. So what features were there that could jumpstart this process in our redesign project? Auditability. We are a bank, and understanding and controlling what people are doing in various systems is critical to us. security, specifically around rules-based access and integration to an identity management system for authentication. Scalability. We focused on hosting options because we plan on moving a lot of work to Appian. Is it capable of growing with us from a business and process perspective? Data integration capabilities. ESL has a diverse set of systems ranging from software as a service, cloud developed, and internally hosted, with different capabilities around each. The platform needed to support these multiple platforms. The boxes Appian really checked for us were focus on BPM. Appian was focused on being a BPM development platform first that could grow as our needs expanded. Reusability and flexibility. It showed its strength in promoting reusable work. Part of moving fast is reusing component parts. Connections to other enterprise solutions. A large number of out-of-the-box integrations to some of our software as a service solutions with the ability to call APIs in other systems we own. Lastly, Mastodon demonstrated their strong partner focus throughout the RFP process. Their services team was part of the discussion early on and demonstrated just how well they listen, hear our needs, and collaborate to provide solutions that fit our business. This was extremely important as we were at the beginning of a long journey.
That's great. So now you've not only been through the buying journey, but you've started implementing as well. You're only at the beginning, but you already have learned some lessons that I think are valuable to those watching. Can you share a few of those lessons learned?
Sure. You need to consider the integrations to existing systems. In looking at any workflow tool, you need to consider the systems you're integrating with. Issues like methods of integration, authentication, and licensing in those systems will impact your BPM project. It's a little more than just calling an API in many cases. In particular, with business systems that perform a function for the business, we preferred an API-based integration that requires you to address how to authenticate to the system to preserve roles within that business system. Many systems also have different licensing features and models for utilization of their APIs. These need to be considered when digitizing workflow. New technology. We decided to use an API gateway in the cloud to expose APIs to Appian. This increased the development effort and pushed our cloud adoption faster than we had originally intended, especially around software development in the cloud. Plan to plaster over some legacy debt. Past decisions might come back to haunt an organization. We have made some decisions around methods of authentication and having legacy systems that require legacy components in our environment. These have affected our BPM project. Looking to automate a process sometimes exposes the decisions and their shortcomings.
Yeah, and ESL has done such a great job navigating these challenges. It's been such a pleasure for me to work with you guys because you work with us to proactively mitigate and correct problems before they can derail the program. So can you share some last parting advice for those who currently or are about to go through a buying journey of their own?
Start small to identify issues and get going. By piloting and going small, this allowed us to start to provide business value without addressing some larger issues around user support models. Consider capabilities of downstream systems. At the heart of automation is moving where work is performed. The landscape of systems where work is currently performed needs to be considered. The methods you use to connect downstream systems will vary in complexity related to process and security. Prepare to rework features and workflows. For us, switching to an iterative approach was a cultural shift. Having participants feel comfortable with not deploying the end state has been a challenge. The only thing constant is change. The business method team engaged in a consultant to develop a strong change management plan. Together, we're iterating and learning what helps the organization and employees adapt to these transformational changes.
Thanks, Matt. Hearing from ESL, a peer who just went through this journey, is so important. But I also wanted to add on some advice from Mastodon. As an intelligent automation partner, we have helped dozens of clients across industries through both their buying journeys and the digital transformation programs. So first, I want to emphasize that your whole transformation is going to be a journey. Digital transformation is not a destination that you can hit and then you'll be done. But if you work on it, you'll get into a routine that is easily sustainable as you continue to transform your business for years to come. Second, get users involved early and keep them involved throughout the program. One of the worst feelings is when you implement a great application and then you hand it over to the users for the first time and it doesn't meet their needs. Make sure they have opportunities to provide ideas and feedback regularly. Next, make sure that you're buying for your future needs, not just for what you need today. This means both considering where you think your business will be in 5 to 10 years, and also considering how you'll adapt to things you don't know will happen in the future. ESL won't have to worry about that because Appian is always adding on the latest technologies such as AI, OCR, and RPA so that you can stay ahead of the industry. Lastly, choose a partner who will stick with you through the hard stuff and find a partner who will challenge you. A vendor who says yes all the time may feel good for a minute, but will not serve you through the long journey. Plus, since Appian is both a BPM and low-code platform, having an experienced partner to staff hybrid teams really accelerates development. At ESL, their first application, which was enterprise grade and didn't cut any corners, was done and in users' hands in only 6 weeks. That's pretty amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today, and make sure to reach out to ask us questions so that you can make the most of your buying journey.
And if I can add, please reach out to Matt and I to collaborate or learn more. We'd like to connect with you, our other Appian clients, to learn together. We'd like to hear your successes and your learnings. Thank you.